Title: AITA for kicking out my sister after she sabotaged a meeting with a fertility clinic. 8 years ago, my 29F sister, 32F, got pregnant. The father wasn't involved and my sister didn't want the baby, but she also couldn't bring herself to terminate or adopt out to strangers. She approached me and my now ex-husband and asked if we would be willing to adopt her child. We weren't sure as we were concerned this would lead to issues down the line, but my sister insisted that it wouldn't, so we ultimately agreed. Before Lucy was a year old, my husband left us both because my sister lied about Lucy's father. When Lucy was 4, I got together with my wife, and we married last year. My sister has said that seeing me and my wife with Lucy, who is now 7, confirms to her that she made the right decision. When I first adopted Lucy, my husband and I told my sister that we wanted multiple children, which she said she was fine with at the time, but now my wife and I are looking into our options and my sister objects. My sister has been staying with us since July because her boyfriend kicked her out. She keeps asking Lucy if she's sure she wants siblings. Lucy has said that she does, and telling us she's worried we won't be able to give Lucy what she needs, and then today happened. We had an online consultation with a fertility clinic to talk about sperm donation. We told my sister about it and asked her to keep an eye on Lucy while we talked. The Wi-Fi went randomly on and off 3 times during the session, booting us out of the call each time. The third time, my wife went to check it and saw my sister holding the power cord, and Lucy trying to plug it back in. Lucy saw my wife and said, "Auntie keeps turning the Wi-Fi off." Wife plugged it back in, but we could no longer get into the session, and we got an email from the doctor saying that if the Wi-Fi is going to be this bad, then maybe we should try a more local clinic as we can't do online consultations. When we confronted my sister, she admitted that she wants Lucy to be an only child so she has 100% of our undivided attention, and then said in a sarcastic tone, "Forgive me for only wanting what's best for my daughter," to which we responded that Lucy isn't her daughter. Things escalated until I said that my sister should go stay with our parents, and my wife drove her to their place. Since leaving a few hours ago, she's apologized and begged to come back, and my parents have also asked me to take her back, but I've refused. They've all called me an arsehole for kicking my own sister out after one argument, because now she's unable to get to work, no car and too far to walk, and she's back in her childhood room while at our place she had a studio to herself behind the house. Title: AITA for telling my partner to tone down their fucking attitude and show me some respect and gratitude. Before having our kid 8 weeks old, we agreed that I would be the working parent, and my partner would stay home. We made this decision for various reasons, but we were 100% in agreement before trying to conceive. I'm now back at work, 50% at home and 50% in the office. I work 10-hour days, plus 3 hours total of commuting on the days I'm in the office. In the morning, I wake up, get myself ready, change the baby, dress the baby, feed the baby. I will try and get the baby to go back to sleep before starting work, but this doesn't always happen. When I work from home, I will take the baby during the day when I'm able to keep an eye on her and work simultaneously. After work, I look after the baby for 1 to 2 hours so my partner can have some time to themselves, then we do bath time together and I give the baby her final bottle and put her to bed, after which I also sleep. During the week partner does all the night wakings, and on the weekend I handle them. I do all the house admin. I buy all the groceries and do a majority of the cooking. Laundry and dishes are split evenly, my partner handles all the other cleaning. To provide some additional context, partner recently convinced me to lend $300 to Bill, who hasn't paid it back, and knowing him most likely won't. It won't bankrupt us, but we really could have used that money this month. I guess it had been a tough night last night. I slept in a separate room to get some solid sleep, because my partner was snappy with me saying something like, "Just come take her and get out," when I went to get the baby. So I took kiddo, did our usual routine and then started work from home. My day started with a call, during which I put kiddo back in my partner's room, and once again I got snapped at, "Isn't it your job to put her back to sleep before bringing her in here?" I couldn't, the baby didn't want to sleep. After my first call, I had no more planned for a couple of hours, so I took kiddo back. At around 10 a.m. I had more calls planned, so I took the baby to my partner and promised that I would come back later in the afternoon so they could take a longer nap if they wanted. I then went to make a bottle to save my partner having to get out of bed. As I passed the bottle to my partner to feed baby, I got a, "What the hell took you so long?" So I eventually snapped and said, "I get it, you're fucking tired. But this is what you signed up for when you agreed to be a stay-at-home parent. Am I not working my ass off to provide for this family and to help make up for the money which you wanted to give your brother? So tone down your fucking attitude and show me some more respect and gratitude." I didn't yell, but I was very stern. I also stormed out of the room, and since then have just been working. Was I the asshole to respond in this way? AITA, my partner has not said anything to me since the incident, and is quite clearly angry about my outburst, so I am concerned I overstepped with my comments. Title: AITA for defending my wife for working. Throwaway: I've been with my wife for almost 10 years now. We've known each other since we were kids, and I always knew she was a lot more ambitious, motivated and dedicated to work than I was. She spent hours and hours studying, and it was something I found attractive in her. We both went to university together, and I only finished my bachelor whilst she went on to do her master's and get her PhD. With her field and her level, she earns a lot more money than I do. After working, we both settled down and got a house, and we now have 2 kids. Little cute babies that keep us up all night. I don't work. I'm a stay-at-home dad, and my wife goes to work. She's worked her ass off to get to where she is, and I didn't want her to sacrifice her entire job. She's a great mother and balanced both out wonderfully. We both agreed to this. She earns more money anyway, and it works out better for the 2 of us. The other night we had my parents over for dinner, and my mom made an awful comment about how my wife was an awful mother for going back to work so soon and not being present in our kids' lives. Which is very much false, as the first 2 weeks after having our first child she cried when she had to leave. I told her that she is present and balances between work and the kids. Her job is very demanding, but she's adaptable. Throughout the night Mom kept making comments about it, how disgusting it is that she's the breadwinner and that I'm not working, that I'm lazy, I should be working and she stays at home. I had enough. I told her that her opinion doesn't matter and she can get out of our house. My dad said I didn't need to kick them out of the house, and I overreacted, but I'm sick and tired of hearing those comments, not just from them but even from our friends. I don't feel like I overacted. She was making awful comments to my wife. Title: AITA for telling my daughter that she's being cruel by blaming her father for her insecurities about her looks. My husband and I have 3 daughters. They are all absolutely gorgeous. Our oldest, 19, and youngest, 13, look more like me, while our middle daughter, 17, looks more like her father. My husband definitely has more strong AMD unique features, but I find him incredibly good looking, which is why I even married him. Our middle daughter, however, has decided that her father is ugly, and by looking like him, so is she. I feel very sad that she's trying to compare herself to bullshit beauty standards. Unfortunately, she's also been teased at school, and while we've managed to stop that, it hasn't helped the issue. Our daughter's problems with her appearance started when she was around 12, and despite therapy and us trying various techniques recommended by therapists, her attitude is unchanged. But it's really escalated the past few years when she started blaming her father for inheriting his genes. I have shut her down every time, but my husband just lets her blame him if I'm not around. Recently, my poor husband broke down in tears while we were in bed and said he felt really guilty that our daughter looks like him and that he can't help that he's ugly. He has never had issues with his appearance before and was always very confident. I was completely crushed. My husband also said that we should maybe look into paying for some of the plastic surgery our daughter has demanded. I disagree with that completely, and we fought over it. The next day, I confronted my daughter and I told her I understand she has serious self-esteem issues, but she is being cruel to her father. This triggered a meltdown from her, and she hasn't talked to any of us since. She hasn't left her room in nearly 2 weeks. She won't even eat unless one of us leaves food outside her door. My husband is gutted and is still blaming himself.